Good day, everybody. This is Yin Yang in California with Morsels of a Thought number 1839. Now, where is my visor lampshade? I am set up so that I can give you words and wisdom, but I don't have any words and wisdom. So I'm going to read you more on other people's wisdom. Morning number 15, oh, sorry, 1800, 1839. This is how many days in a row I've come to you. Um, I'm a little discombobulated because we have no hot water in my building. And so I have had to pour water from boiling water on the stove. So I have just finished doing that. I am going to talk because today's Wednesday, and knowing the right thing to do is having a form of wisdom, taking the magic action, as George J. Chanos has said. Action is magic. Action turns wisdom into virtue. So we've been getting synopses of other people's lives, and I am going to introduce you to other books as well because we're coming to um lots of books. We've come into lots of books. I also want to read to you How to Feed a Brain by Kevin Ballister. I'm going to start it off on Saturdays, and it will be a an addition to my brain protection series on Fridays. Fridays we are going to deal with how we hit ourselves on the head. Um, uh, the author of Brain Rescue. Uh, the author of Brain Rescue says that the United States has about 3.8 million, um, 3.8 million concussions a day. There are that many people with concussions, not a day, sorry, per year. And I calculated that into it's about 200 concussions per state per day. So that's about a thousand concussions every day in the United States. So that's Dr. Brody Miller saying that's 3.8 million that he found out. And right now, I am just going to ramble because I am going to try to get everybody to talk about virtue. The world is changing right now. And in the United States, we've got a lot of unrest. And there are many people who go and read the newspapers, or not newspapers, but look at social media and any media and say that they don't want to believe it because it's hard to believe. And we have come to this place where there is so much outrageous stuff out on the media that we can't understand it anymore. And we just don't like it. So I try to stay with my books. Wednesday, I tried to get some quotes, but I have been noticing that Wednesdays, I have a lot of big opinions that I haven't been telling people about. So I want to impart some of my viewpoint to people, and that'll be on Wednesdays as much as I can. I bring you as much wisdom as I can, especially on Wednesdays. But on Wednesdays, it feels as though I'm just rambling. And what I want to say through myself is not as articulate as what other people have said through their books. Morsels of a Thought, number 1839. My purpose of my show is to impart some good knowledge, hopefully, preferably wisdom. I want to entertain people. I could bring my cats on stage, but they're asleep right now. I want to educate people to the level where I'm at so that everybody is educated at least as well as I am. And um, I have read many books. I have reached many stars, and I've come to a spot where I forget, gee, I have taught at a university in China. I have visited people in France and Beijing. I have traveled to Australia. I have spoken to a government official in Turkey. Uh, his English, he was practicing on me on an airplane. I have spoken to a bishop from Australia who was flying from New Zealand back to Australia. I exchanged thoughts and opinions, and I've listened to the German language very, very heartily. I was asleep on an airline on Air New Zealand, and uh, there were Germans speaking or people speaking German in the row behind me, and I felt as though I could understand them. Now, this could be a Qigong state. I have met Dr. Yan Xing, who is a world famous Qigong master who does the life science technology that is called YXLST, Yan Xing Life Science Technology. The surname is Yan, YAN. He has saved my life. I have joined Facebook for the sole purpose of reaching a group that was operated by Dr. Duc C. Vuong, Vuong, and he was a bariatric surgeon at one point, and he retired because he was sick of it. No appreciation. And he eventually went from career to career and now operates a bed and breakfast called the Pecos Lodge in Vida Bonita in New Mexico. And got, he has unknowingly to him shaped a lot of my life because it introduced me to social media. And yet, I have been in my isolated state for many years because I deliberately stay away from people. I love cats. I do have four of them. I try to bring virtue into the world with their energy. Now, energy is no small thing. Energy has to do with love. If you feel an unconditional love, you are gaining power, energetic power. You are going to be happier if you act on your virtue. But I have also been homeless. And in being homeless off and on for many years, off and on because of various circumstances that were beyond my control, and I got out of that situation with a lot of help from people such as my Aunt Mary Young. My Aunt Mary Young is a retired English teacher, and she got to know that cook that got in trouble. What was his name? Jeff the frugal gourmet, that man, they knew each other. And she taught him some cooking, so he learned some Chinese cooking. And he had some serious charges brought against him about child molestation or something. And I haven't seen him since on TV. Just like that guy, Charlie something, was accused by many women, and he got on uh, Charlie, what's his name again? Not Michael Charlie, not Charlie Michael, not. blah. Anyway, he was a PBS news anchor commentator, and he was accused of sexual abuse to many women. Um, don't know I don't remember his name, but I really have an opinion about child molestation, and I have an opinion that child molesters are among the saddest people in our society. They themselves were probably abused, and they themselves have a sense of reality that is only that they need other people to fill them up. They need other things to fill them up. They don't have a sense of themselves, but they go and good morning, Diane, dog mom. Good morning to you. Good to see you. Oh, Thelma, good morning. Gina, good morning. Tom Cripps, Ronette Bozeman, Shane Sweet, John Clark, Odette Minders. We got lots of people who come up here and see me after they turn live. Now, I am talking about my own life experiences right now on Morsels of a Thought number 1839. I see that typo. It's fine. No problem. I knew who you were talking about. Thanks for the heart. Um, and since I myself am not very wise, all I can tell you is when I encounter wise people, I learn something. There, there have been very wise people who have come into my life, and I have wanted to impart their wisdom to people for many years. Good morning, Liz Rose Cantara. And I have been wanting to say this. Epstein was a criminal, and he was probably murdered. They don't have this 1 minute of video of his last moments of life. And they really need to give out all the names of the people that he um, encountered and dealt with. Now, we already know that the formerly Prince Andrew has been stripped of all his titles, and he has been evicted from the location that he was in and is being supported now by the King Charles of England. And there are many more people who deserve to be banned from society for doing what they did to poor children or teens, young people who don't deserve to have their lives cut short. A lot of boys were killed after they were trafficked through Jeffrey Epstein. And they include judges and even a so called very popular prime minister. Um, Even Clarence Thomas has been implicated. Even Donald J. Trump has been implicated. Quite a few people. And we need to protect those people that were victimized. A lot of them have been killed. In Chinese, there's a saying called 杀人灭口, which means um, kill the person to silence the mouth. And so these people are in danger, and they want to um, live, and we need to find ways to protect them. So I think among all of the kind of charities that we can put our money into is people who are unjustly accused of wrongdoing. Those are prisoners that are in there for life. I personally have donated to what's that called? Project Innocence. There's that one. Because to be unjustly accused, wrongly accused, is the most painful thing I have ever encountered in my life, having been accused of something that I didn't do. But when you have been accused of something and you actually did it, then you really need to be put in jail. But if something has been done to you, who's going to protect you now? very few people understand that it's the appalling silence of so many, as Dr. Obama has said recently on stage. Um, and Martin Luther King, I'm rubbing my nose is itching. You think people are thinking about me. Um, I lose my thoughts when I do that. But Jeffrey Epstein, we really need to get that back out there. And if we have the wrong person in the White House right now, I think that we really need to get him out of there. The 25th Amendment, the 14th Amendment, we need to start using the Constitution to protect the Constitution. We need to stop being afraid. Now, I have been stalked. And there was a man who stalked me last week. There was a time on Sunday that I was between emergency calls while I was on this show. And uh, I have people helping me, so I'm not afraid of him. And when, yeah, yeah, what, let me see this comment. I can't see it. It's friends and can't see it. Um, so I think it's Diane Dogma who said it, but I'm not sure. It shows me a little bit of something. But keeping in touch with your friends is, the acorn is either dying or living, growing or dying, right? The acorn that Dr. Duxi Vong talk. The acorn is either dying or growing. So um, we want to grow our relationships with each other. So I have decided that I want to at least say hello to people that I don't say hello to very often, and gather and summon up the energy to go and visit them and bring more virtue into the world by just taking in some time to help these old people. The old people that I have talked to, some of them have been soldiers in the Holocaust. And you get a lot of info from people like that. So go out there and know who you g- g- when you are not when you are not in contact with your friends, your relationship is deteriorating, like that acorn I was trying to say. If your relationship is currently at, we haven't called each other in a month, we haven't talked to each other in 2 years, that means your relationship is not growing. And if it's not growing, then as a matter of fact, it is deteriorating. And so a lot of people, even people who are living together, don't realize that by not talking to each other, their their relationships are deteriorating. And if we keep on allowing this sort of thing to happen, then we get bad things in society that exist, such as little kids that are abused, little kids that are abuse starts with neglect, really. And if you neglect something, it gives an open door to consent to abuse in the future. So if you don't protect your children right now, there is a way that somebody else could abuse them. There's always a chance that somebody can abuse an adult anyway. That is always the case. But don't make the kids vulnerable by neglecting them either. So let me tell you that I want to read on Friday. I would like to read How to Free the Brain and Brain Rescue. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read some of this on Saturday and I'm going to read this on Friday. And then Dr. George J. Chanos, I'm going to bring to Wednesday. So we can bring his wisdom to us on Wednesday. And in the meantime, I'm also going to give my own commentary on Wednesday because I feel that that's the day that we can share the most in terms of opinion, public opinion. Okay, now, Issues That Matter by Dr. J. Chanos, George J. Chanos, include public corruption. All right, so we'll go to we're on page 200, 260, page 260, chapter 129. I've rambled long enough. Power tends to corrupt, and Absolute Power Corrupts Absolutely by John Acton, English historian, politician, and writer. James Wolfensohn, the former chairman of the World Bank, warned in his farewell speech to the bank 2 decades ago that the problem that disturbed him the most when contemplating the future of the world economy was corruption. We often hear of large capital outflows from countries like Russia that go into offshore banking centers that act as money launderers. We've also seen the rapid rise in cryptocurrencies that facilitate such transfers. Leaders like Putin, Xi, Mugabe, Chavez, and Maduro have ignored, modified, or circumvented their own constitutions in order to enrich and entrench themselves at the expense of those they claim to represent. Billions of dollars in oil money are unaccounted for in Russia, Venezuela, Brazil, Nigeria, and a number of Middle Eastern nations. These national resources are not optimally allocated for the benefit of society as a whole. They are simply stolen by the ruling elite. Public corruption in the United States is no better. The cost per mile to extend the New York Second Avenue subway was 4 times the cost per mile to construct the new Crossrail Underground in London. Why? Why must contractors in New York City pay 30% more for concrete than anywhere else? The answer is unethical and or illegal agreements between construction contractors, public sector unions, criminal organizations, and government agencies. The cost of these practices to consumers is not only higher construction costs, but also significant and often even more costly delays, some that can last for decades. Elected officials are rarely held accountable for such corruption. Other forms of corruption are explained away as policy ignorance on the part of our legislators. One of the greatest economic problems confronting the United States today is the problem of unfunded entitlements, benefits which, having been granted, can never be retracted. This is true for the federal government and for state and local governments, many of which are or could be facing bankruptcy due to their inability to fund these ever increasing deficits. When officials are asked how this could happen, the most frequent explanation is we didn't realize how bad the situation was. We didn't realize how bad the situation was. This is either a lie or evidence of gross negligence. Many have been shouting warnings for more than 40 years. Okay, so I'm gonna comment on this part right here. When we don't know how bad things are, then things can get worse. We don't know how bad things are right now. And I'm going to piggyback off of this statement to say that the guy that's in the White House right now, he needs to be removed because he is a raving lunatic. And he raves, and he raves. And he uses F words. He's unprofessional at the very least. He is not nice to women. He's not nice to Asians. He hates my guts. He wants to deport me. He doesn't care that I'm an American citizen. He doesn't care that Native Americans are American citizens. He doesn't care. So be careful out there and ask about those stupid files that we don't know about that were supposed to be released on December 19th. And today is already January 14th. Okay? I'll talk to you later. Hope this wasn't the worst show ever. Old Kinderhook.